This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Know-How is brought to you by CashFly.
This episode of Know-How is brought to you by PillPack, a full-service pharmacy that combines modern technology, convenient packaging, and personalized service to make your life easier. Visit PillPack.com/twit to save $20 on vitamins and OTCs when you transfer your prescriptions. And by the Ring Video Doorbell. With Ring, you can see and talk to anyone at your door from anywhere in the world using your smartphone. It's like caller ID for your house. Right now, get free expedited FedEx shipping when you go to ring.com/knowhow. Today on Know-How,
Gaming for the traveler.
a desktop replacement to die for.
Your questions, our answers.
Welcome to Know-How. It's the Twitch show where we play video games all day. I'm Father Robert Ballas here.
And I'm Bryan Burnett.
And for the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to be showing you some of the projects that we've been playing with so that you can take them out home and geek out on your own.
That's right.
This is a weird episode. This is a themed episode.
This is a gaming-themed episode. I recently went on a trip and realized that over the years, I have collected quite a few mobile gaming devices, and the landscape has changed in the most recent years, and I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Well, that's Act 1. And Act 2 will be me saying, no, these are nice, they're quaint, but I have the ultimate in travel gaming.
Says you.
Says me. No, but that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be showing you some of the tech behind gaming and travel of the past and what you could get if you were an ultimate gamer. But Bryan, let's start with you. Travel gaming. This has always been an interesting thing. As far as our generation, and I'm going to put us in the same generation, even though I know you're the generation after me. That's fine. Shut up. You're
no, it's
very
okay.
young. But, I grew up with the Game Boy.
Right.
We had things like the Game Gear.
Yeah.
But travel gaming has been an option, a way for you to bring your console experience on the road. Tell me what you got here.
So these are like the two original titans. I think you had a Neo Geo growing up.
Yeah.
But originally, I really wanted a Game Boy. It's cartridge. It came out in 1989, July 1989. The Game Gear came out in 1991. I originally really wanted this. My dad got me the Game Gear because the Game Gear was backlit and color.
And I remember that there was a war. It was like, well, why would you want this if you could get color and you can see it in dark?
And I think what it kind of established was it doesn't really matter the platform, it's the games.
Right.
Because the Game Gear kind of had some limited games compared to there's so many games that came on the Game Boy. But so those were the two original ones. And in past Know-How episodes, we modded this Game Boy so that it does have a backlit screen. It's not color, but that was a project we did.
And this has had the staying power. The funny thing about the Game Boy is the game, like Tetris, came with my original Game Boy that I bought when it first came out. That will work on a Game Boy today.
Yes.
So
yeah, these things are hardy.
These are really hardy, and the platform has just lived. Whereas this was one and done. So this works with this, and that's it.
Yeah.
I remember another system that I dumpster dived for was the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, yeah.
And that was nice because you had a console, and the same games that worked in the console worked in the handheld.
Which is a cool concept. I like that. These are all cartridge gaming. These two are cartridge gaming things. But also, the Game Gear took 6 batteries. It's probably done in about. It ate them so fast. And then the Game Boy only had 4 batteries?
And you know
4 batteries.
The Game Boy, you could last a long time with 4 AA batteries.
You would get a full day. You would at least get a full day on the Game Boy of solid just playing. Whereas the Game Gear, my dad bought it for me for our 8-hour trip to Oregon to visit my grandparents, and it would be dead halfway through.
I remember my parents probably wishing that the batteries didn't last so long in my Game Boy because of the Tetris song. Dun, 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 like
over and over.
Imagine
and
that
over.
on a 12-hour trip.
Yeah.
It
would get old. It would get old. So those are two of my old nostalgia favorites. These are like all my gaming, mobile gaming things I've had over the years. Then came the Game Boy Color, which still wasn't backlit.
Which misnomer. Game Boy Color didn't mean it was a color game. It means, no, the Game Boy itself is kind of colorful.
Well, yeah, and if you played the older games, it would only do one color.
Right.
So, like, I have Pokemon Red in here, but it only shows up as, like, a kind of tint of red.
Red monochrome.
I don't know. Alex, do you still have this camera on there? And it's not backlit either, so it's just different shades of red. Certain games have more
advanced, super advanced.
This was probably the one I most used after I got it. Moving on, they came out with a mouse. Sorry, I threw down the camera there. The DS.
I never got into the DS. I know you did. I know Greg did, but I think by that time I was still playing the Game Boy, the original Game Boy.
Right. Well, the DS, see, I didn't even have the original DS because it was kind of crummy. This is the DS Lite. Oh, yes. What was nice about this one is that it took a new cartridge. So at the top, you could have a different kind of game cartridge, but then at the bottom, you could use older Game Boy Advance games fit into that slot.
And see, that was the weird thing, because Nintendo, they were hamstrung by the success of the original Game Boy, because everyone had built up a library of these cartridges, and they didn't want to change the architecture because they're like, well, we're going to alienate all of our old fans.
Then you won't be able to play your old games.
Then that's why they did that compatibility mode with the DS, but that never caught on.
No, and that's why we've come to my favorite and the one that I took on my trip, and this is the new 3DS. Here we go, XL. So this, I have a little nostalgia skin on there. But this is my favorite at the moment, and what Nintendo now has is the online store, so you can digitally download games. Like, I'm getting into the era of I don't need the case anymore, and the tendency is that I'll leave something at home and forget it. When I go on a trip, I have all these games downloaded to it, and then they just load up. I do have a few games that I do have a cartridge for. Like, I do have Smash Brothers on cartridge. So, but usually what ends up happening is I'll go to a friend's house and forget something at home. But now, you can see I have a Game Gear background for my, oops, don't know how I got into that. I have a Game Gear background for my Nintendo, my new Nintendo DS. So it's kind of weird. It's a very, like, meta experience there. But yeah, this is like probably the king right now, the new 3DS. It's got the online store. There is a new PSP out, which is probably more powerful, but the one I have here is the original PSP.
I remember when this first came out, I actually liked it. I was playing, I wasn't thrilled with the game selection. I wasn't a big fan of their library. But it was a cool piece of technology until Sony hamstrung it with all their DRM.
So this is probably my favorite of all my old gaming systems I had, because this is the one that got me into modding and hacking. So I put a homebrew software on this PSP, and I loaded all the Final Fantasies on it. I have like a Nintendo and Sega emulator on here. So this was kind of my first adventure into modding software and messing with hardware to play games to get by, like games like that, the DRM stuff.
Did you go with the Vita or no? No.
I didn't go with the Vita. No. As much as I like playing mobile games, sometimes these handhelds they're a little much and they're kind of expensive. I got into the new DS because more of my friends have it and they have better games. And I think Tony's the only one here I know that got a Vita, and I don't think he plays it at all anymore.
I've seen it once, probably, and that was because he just wanted to show people that it actually existed.
Well, the hardware on it is really nice. Like, the screen's super nice, and Sony does. I think if you're in the Sony ecosystem, it works a lot better with their setup and stuff. Like, you get free games if you sign up for their service. But if you're not into any of these handheld peripherals, you can still. I think this cell phones have replaced.
I wanted to ask you about that because I came from the era where you wanted to have a handheld console.
Buttons and
the whole thing. That was the experience. Very few people want this anymore because your phone has way more power than any of these devices, and you're already carrying it with you.
Yeah, this Nexus 6P has a nicer screen and is probably more powerful than anything here on the desk.
And it's connected.
Well, and there's a this emulator that I'm using is called John GBA emulator. It's $2 on the Android Play Store, but you can download ROMs, your own ROMs, I should say, legally, and you can play them on here, and it works really well.
I remember I spent so many hours playing that game.
So the emulator software on a phone is pretty good. And especially this one. And then another game that's fun that I played on my trip that I went on, and I know you're a fan of Rick and Morty.
I am a huge fan of Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty, this is basically a Rick and Morty Pokemon game where you collect all the different Mortys. I think
you only want the one true Morty and maybe the hammer Morty.
Well, it's like a rock, paper, scissors kind of game. So like each different Mortys have different kind of powers and stuff.
No, I have to get this now.
Yeah, and the thing I like about it is you won't be able to hear it, but they basically did 8-bit versions of all the music that they use in the show.
Oh, nice.
So it's got the like chaos song.
Wait, hand me the screwdriver. Is this where he's gonna blow up? Is that from that episode where they killed him? They get killed?
No, not exactly. But they do. So if you're you don't want to get like a peripheral device, there's plenty of games to play on your phone.
So, Bryan, obviously you took this on your vacation. You took this.
I took this and my phone.
You took that and your phone on vacation. So that was your gaming inventory. These two.
Those two.
Where are we headed? I mean, obviously these were in a closet somewhere. These were in a drawer, and you brought them out for the show.
I did.
But I mean, this is less and less important, right?
Yeah, it's getting there. I think if Nintendo had made a cell phone back in the day, like a flip cell phone, they probably would have been pretty ahead of the curve. But they are now releasing their games on cell phones. I think they've kind of seen the light that mobile gaming has gone.
Well, Sony made a cell phone.
Sony does make cell phones.
Well, no, a gaming cell phone. You remember that thing?
Don't remember that.
It was horrible.
It was bad.
Really, really bad. It was really, really, really bad.
Yeah, they kind of fall in this category where if you really want buttons, and certain games will only play on like one of these systems, like the 3DS. And I guiltily just ordered a new one right before we did the show because they're coming out with a Pokemon Red themed one. So that's coming from Toys R Us soon.
Yeah. So, but those are also really awesome. Truly awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably the best gaming technology you could possibly have.
There's suddenly a shadow that is eclipsing the set. What is that?
I've been playing with this ever since we did the unboxing. Remember, this is the Predator. This is that Acer gaming notebook, and we thought it was incredible for the unboxing. And now that I've had several weeks to play with it, this thing is absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely
so what have you
incredible.
been playing?
Mostly Homeworld.
Oh, Homeworld.
No, not even this will play Crisis at full resolution.
Dang.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Crisis.
kidding. No, Crisis, that's an old joke, folks. No, but we're going to get to this. I want to show you what I found and what I think makes this really, really special. Because I've played with a lot of laptops. We've had a lot of gear come to the Brick House.
We've had a few gaming PCs that we've done extensive reviews on.
Extensive reviews, but we've also had gaming notebooks from Alienware and from Dell. You know, the machines with high specs, with really good graphics cards. And I want to show you how this measures up.
This is a whole different level of mobile gaming,
though. It really is. It really is. But before we get to that, you know what I want to do?
What?
I want to take some pills.
Pills?
No, specifically, I want to thank PillPack for being a sponsor of Know How. Now, PillPack, imagine this. Imagine a way to get the medication that you need, but get it in a format so that you're never going to forget it.
Yeah, because I have a tendency to forget taking vitamins.
Right.
I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I need to take certain vitamins.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget. I mean, yes. I've got a couple of those pill minders, the little old plastic boxes, but sometimes I don't actually fill the boxes, and sometimes I forget days, and now I've got like 3 days where I'm not sure if I should take all the pills. No, but seriously, folks, PillPack is the best way to get your prescriptions, to get your OTs, and to get them all in one simple space. Now, this gives you these packs that you can rip off and open and get the medication you need at a particular time of the day. It really couldn't be any easier. Now, we love PillPack because PillPack delivers your medication and vitamins pre-sorted in those easy-to-tear packets, labeled with the date and the time for each dose. So there's no more guessing. You can get rid of that antiquated Monday to Sunday pill box. Now, they utilize robots to sort and to fill personalized pill packs separately for each customer. The packet dispensed in the pharmacy is then sent through an image recognition system that they built that ensures that the right pill is in the right pack. Their system can detect dispensing accuracy by size, shape, color, and density of each pill, and catalogs an image of every single packet dispensed. In addition, each packet is checked by a pharmacist for accuracy and interactions prior to shipment. In other words, this is going to be more accurate than you get from the pharmacy. They check, double check, and triple check to make sure you're getting the dosages that are right for you. Now, if you ever have any questions, their pharmacists are available to you 24/7 from the privacy of your own home. No more long lines or awkward pharmacy encounters, asking the pharmacist exactly what does this do, how does it interact with this pill. Everything's automated and everything is answered. Now, switching is easy. You sign up on their secure site and they'll take care of everything for you. And when I say they take care of everything, I mean everything. They will make sure that your insurance is compatible with the service. You're not going to end up switching and then find that you owe so much money because your insurance won't cover it. That's one of the things that I like about PillPack, and I think that's one of the things that sets aside their service from everybody else. Now, no extra cost beyond your standard copays, and shipping is always free. It was recognized by Time Magazine Top 25 Invention. Jill Duffy gave it a great review in PC Mag, who named PillPack an Editor's Choice health service. There's also a PillPack medication reminder app for your iPhone and Apple Watch. So if you're one of these people who's always forgetting when it's time to take your pills, now your technology can help you get healthier. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to visit pillpack.com/twit to sign up now. Their site is beautiful and it only takes 5 minutes to sign up. When you use our link and transfer your prescriptions to PillPack, you'll get a credit for $20 worth of vitamins and OTCs. That's pillpack.com/twit. pillpack.com/twit. And we thank PillPack for their support of Know-How. So, Brian, you ready to just see all your little concho thingies be toys in front of the Predator?
I think when you say mobile gaming, this comes with some quotation marks.
Yeah, it's good. It's like 9 pounds, so.
I mean, even as far as like a gaming laptop, that's pretty large.
It's pretty large, but there's a reason for that.
Because it's in charge.
The reason is because it's awesome, because it's a Predator. Hey, Alex, do me a favor and go ahead and press the magic button.
This is the Predator 17. And what a machine. Carbon-carbon bonded titanium infused paneling. Diamond strand intercore networking. Liquid synaptic data transfer bus. Bioluminescent keyboard, time vortex cooling, dual quantum dilithium diffracculation processors, powered by the captured heart of a newly born supernova. Okay, that's all sci-fi mumbo-jumbo, but the Predator 17 is a ridiculously powerful series of gaming desktop replacements that Acer sells for between $1,500 and $2,500. Our review unit is a top-of-the-line Acer Predator 17 G9-791-79Y3. That's a horrible name for a powerhouse, so I'm going to call it the Apex Predator. The Acer Apex Predator is an 8.71-pound gaming laptop with a matte-finished 17.3-inch 1920 by 1080 16 by 9 IPS screen, driven by a G-Sync-capable NVIDIA GTX 980M discrete graphics part with 4 GB of GDDR5 memory. It's powered by a 6th-gen Intel i7-6700HQ quad-core processor running at 2.66 GHz with a 3.5 GHz boost and 6 MB of L3 cache. It comes with 32 GB of dual-channel DDR4 system memory with 2 empty slots for upgradability to 64 GB. The Apex uses a hybrid storage setup for speed and capacity. Ultra-fast storage is provided by a Samsung SM951 512GB M.2 SSD supporting NVMe and a data transfer rate of 2.5 gigabytes per second, while a 1TB Hitachi 7200 RPM hard drive provides SATA-connected storage. Also, if you look really close, you'll see that there are actually 2 slots to entice your upgrade technolust. If you want ports, the Apex Predator has got them. 4 USB 3.0 ports, 2 on the right and 2 on the left, full-size HDMI and display ports, a gigabit Ethernet port, audio, SD card reader, and a USB-C Thunderbolt 3.0 for ultra-high-speed peripherals. We ran PC Mark 8 against the Apex Predator, and its performance was eye-opening. This is a phenomenal score for a notebook. While a standard Office PC might score 2200 and a high-end gaming notebook 2986, the Predator scored a consistent 3846. In other words, it thumped most high-end notebooks. While other gaming notebooks have used this much memory and CPU power in the past, the Apex Predator's NVMe M.2 SSD gives it a huge upper hand, even against notebooks that cost more. Now, I know what you're thinking. Padre, these are desktop benchmarks, but this is a gaming machine. How does it do with gaming benchmarks? Well, I'm glad you asked. We ran 3DMark against the Apex Predator, and it scored 84,730 in Ice Storm, 21,735 in Cloudgate, 21,958 in Skydiver. But to put these scores into perspective, most notebooks will score an average of about 1,400 on the most challenging benchmark, Firestrike, while high-end gaming notebooks will be able to eke out about 3,300. The Acer Apex Predator scored 8,356. That's just under 2.5 times faster than the high-end gaming notebook average. So yeah, a little speed here. Of course, benchmarks can't tell us about the actual gaming experience, so I fired up some Homeworld Remastered and promptly forgot how to play the game. Frame rates were great even when I switched it up to 4K on an external monitor. Once I remembered my keyboard macros, I was able to play Homeworld, kinda. I'm just not the gaming type, that's more Cranky Hippo. But one thing was for sure, the Apex Predator handled it all, and I didn't even need to switch it into high performance mode. This is all in good, and performance is always welcome, but where the Acer Apex Predator distinguishes itself is in some of the finer style and tech touches. The keyboard is one of the best feeling units I've ever tested, with plenty of throw on a truly full-size set of clicky keys. The backlighting is also gaming-oriented with a Predator Sense app, a utility that can change lighting zones to suit the game that you're playing. For those extended gaming sessions, you can pop out the 6X Blu-ray optical drive and replace it with the included Frost Core that ups your cooling capacity with an extra fan. There's also a set of programmable macro keys that can be programmed to do everything from game combos to toggling the cooling between quiet and high performance to changing the color balance of the monitor. Anybody who's ever had a desktop replacement die because of crud will like Dust Defender, a simple application that reverses the fans every 3 hours in order to prevent a buildup of dust on the sizable heatsinks. For the Twitch gamers out there, Acer has also developed a feature they call Killer Double Shot Pro that uses both the Gigabit Ethernet and 802.11 AC adapter simultaneously, automatically routing lag-sensitive game data packets over the wired connection while keeping lag-capable data like VoIP, chat, and background processes on Wi-Fi. The last touch is the styling. From the rubberized finish to the matte screen to the responsive touchpad to the mean look, the Apex Predator just looks different. And that's a good thing. Also, unlike a lot of other gaming notebooks, the Apex Predator actually has theater-passable sound from its 4-speaker, 2-subwoofer, 12-watt sound system. Combined with a special 2-year warranty, the Acer G9-79179Y3 isn't a gaming notebook. It's a Predator.
I cannot stress enough how this completely blew away what I expect from a gaming notebook. And again, I made a mistake in the unboxing. I said that it had a full desktop 980. This is actually a 980M, so it is the mobile GPU.
But still, those numbers that you got out of it,
it's ridiculous.
Insane.
By the way, 3DMark and PCMark actually updated the system, so if you benchmark any PCs before, you have to re-benchmark them with the new numbers. And the new numbers, because they're always trying to take away the cheating that goes on.
Right.
And in the new numbers, this just kicks butt. It kicks so much butt. It's ridiculous.
What I like most about it is the little details that they have and the reverse fan thing.
Because who doesn't have that? Who doesn't have that gross moment where they look at the heat sinks and like, oh no.
Especially on a laptop.
Yeah. Because that will kill it. Especially if you've got something like this, which is it's got a high thermal envelope, right? There's a lot of heat that's being generated in here.
Yeah.
So the fact that they thought, how can we keep the laptop from dying once the fans get too cranked up? It's like, oh, for a couple of seconds every 3 hours, reverse the fans, blow it back out. That's an awesome idea. I also love that this Frost Core is such a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, what you do is, hold on to that.
You just slide it in there.
Yeah, so here, I'm just gonna shut this down. This is the optical drive. I just pop this out and put that in. And now instead of the optical drive, I have an extra fan. So if I'm gaming, this gives me far more performance. It gives me the ability to always have the CPU at max tilt, without having to throttle it down because the thermals got bad.
That's cool.
It's a great idea, and this is included. So you don't have to buy the frost core. When you buy the Predator, they give you the frost core.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, you know, I like the expandability. It's 32 gigabytes out of the box, but it's got 2 empty slots. So you could up this to 64 gigabytes without having to remove the memory that's already in there. And the styling is great. I love this rubberized look and feel.
That keyboard is really neat.
This is, you try this out. This is probably one of the best keyboards I've tried on any notebook. I mean, this feels like a full-size clicky keyboard. This is not that mushy or the half throw. This is a full throw, full-size keyboard.
And the different colors.
I just like it.
I'm a sucker for the colors.
Yeah, I really am. And like, for example, here, look at this. Look at the screen. Here, back off a little bit and look at the screen. These are the first macro keys I might actually use because it allows me to do things like, see how the color temperature is changing?
Oh,
so I can
nice.
easily swap it between like movie mode and game mode. Do I want it really high definition or do I want it picture perfect? And because they're not using a glossy screen like you see with so many other manufacturers, I'm not getting that artificial color. So when I do use this for video editing and say Photoshop, I get a much more photorealistic result from the monitor than I would if this was one of those, you know, other gaming notebooks.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love this button too.
What's that?
This is, you probably can't hear it, but when I push this, you can hear all the fans throttle up to full.
Yeah.
That's performance mode. So that tells, look, when I start gaming, I hit that, and I don't have to worry about the fans throttling up. They throttle up at the beginning to keep everything as other in the back, to keep it as cool as possible.
So when you were full tilt gaming, how hot did it get?
I couldn't feel it. That's how good the cooling system is. So even with the GPU and the CPU absolutely max, because I had this hooked up to Homeworld doing 4K, and that is a sizable chunk of power.
It's intense.
I had this. So this is the sound I heard. Unfortunately, you can't hear it. The fans were on, but I never felt like the keyboard got too hot. I never felt like the bottom of the laptop was going to burn my lap.
I think this is the first laptop too where I can actually feel the wind coming off of it.
Right,
like,
but it's not loud.
No, it's not loud. No, but you can feel the force of the air leaving it. Yeah.
And that's because they used a larger fan that spins more slowly rather than a small fan or many small fans that spin very quickly.
And I was really curious about the Wi-Fi Ethernet, the dual internet stuff. Did that work pretty well?
It actually did. I thought it was a gimmick because I'm like, you can't combine those two and bond them unless you have something on the other side that unbonds them. Right. But it's a brilliant system because they realize some packets are lag sensitive and some are not. Right. So if I'm competing with you, the data packets for the game, that's very important that they get to the server as fast as possible because otherwise someone will kill me in between with a bad ping, right? So it's going to use the wired connection because the wired connection is always going to have a better ping time.
When you're gaming, you want to be wired.
Exactly. But the wireless, like for my chat, for my background processes, anything that
or
does
like streaming music or
streaming
something
music.
Like
that goes over the Wi-Fi. Now, the other cool thing about that means I can have the Ethernet hooked up to one connection, like the fast connection, and then like use the Wi-Fi off my phone, tether it off my phone. It is a phenomenal. It is a great idea.
That's
cool. A great idea.
Yeah, I kind of wish my desktop had something like that too.
Know, right? Now, okay. Now, the cons on this, it's just going to be price. Everything else I love about this notebook, the fact that it gives me 2 storage options. I've got that standard 2.5-inch bay. I could put a 4 terabyte rotating drive if I really like, because I'm going to use this.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I should say.
You're going to do some more testing?
I'm going to, well, so I actually had this in the box. I was ready to ship it back. I'm like, okay, it's going to ship right after Know-How. And I got a note saying, oh, hey, you know what? We're actually okay here for now. So why don't you just use it as long as it's useful for you?
I think we could find something for it.
Well, because when I do my remote shows, I always carry a desktop with me. For the video editing.
You don't need
I'm
to.
not gonna
This thing will
this.
video edit.
This was 50% faster than my desktop for rendering. And it's because of that M.2 and NVMe drive.
And then just bring an extra monitor with you, the portable monitor.
Yep. Actually, I don't even need that. This monitor it's 17.3 inches. This be a big monitor, folks. That's a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
So know what it is. This is not a daily driver. If you carry this around in your bag every day, there's probably something wrong with you. You're probably that guy who carries the desktop into Starbucks and the 42-inch monitor.
What if you bring the Ethernet cable with you? Like, where do I plug in?
Don't be that guy. But if you consistently find yourself in need of more power than you can get from an Ultrabook, or even like a 15-inch gaming notebook, this thing is spot on. And remember, it starts from $1,500 all the way up to 2,500. This is the higher end.
Yeah, this seems like the perfect LAN party system.
This is a LAN party.
Hey Alex, you want to have a LAN party? We'll use this very high-powered gaming PC and just play the original Doom.
Yeah, will that play Doom?
Yeah, will it play Doom?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Doom's pretty demanding.
Pretty demanding. We want to build some mods.
Maybe Castle Wolfenstein. You know.
Yeah, let's do that. Cool.
So we're going to make sure that you end up with all the links for this. I'm actually going to be using this in some of the YouTube videos. So another reason that you need to subscribe to the Know How YouTube channel, because we'll be giving you some additional footage from Homeworld. Which, by the way, I forgot that game so much faster than I thought I would. Because you cannot play that game unless you remember all the macros, the keyboard macros.
Yeah. You have to group up all your ships and stuff. Yeah.
Because like the first time I got attacked, I'm like, why am I getting my butt kicked?
That game is really hard.
I'm better than this.
It's beautiful. Like it looks amazing, but you're getting destroyed. Yeah.
So, folks, that's my take on the Acer Predator. Again, I'm calling it the Apex Predator. Acer, the only thing I don't like is you got to find better names for your notebooks, because this 9GYA.
Nobody's ever going to remember that.
Do that.
I'm just going to call it the Predator.
Yeah.
The Predator laptop.
That's what it is for me.
And it won't kill you as long as you're not holding a weapon in your hand. It's not sporting.
God. Thank you for that callback. That was a nice reference. Okay, folks, coming up next, we're going to have some of your questions and some of our answers. But before we do that, you know what I want to do, Brian?
I have a feeling you want to thank a sponsor.
I do want to thank a sponsor. And you know who that sponsor is?
Ring.
Ring, exactly.
One
now,
of our
Ring,
favorites.
in case you haven't watched Know How before, is one of my favorites because I actually had this. I bought this with my own money.
Protecting your parents.
They came, before they were a sponsor, because I was worried about my folks. Yeah. They live in Las Vegas. Where they are, there's a lot of retired people, and we've had issues in the neighborhood. In fact, 2 doors down, our neighbor got burglarized because people would come by, they like knock on the door. If nobody answers, they start looking in the windows, and then they know, oh, well, this person's probably up at the club, which is just a couple miles away, and they've got an hour or two to kill. And it's horrible. It just feels wrong. So I got them a Ring video doorbell, and this has probably been the best thing I've ever bought for them. I've bought a lot of technology for my parents over the year, but this is cool because it gives them peace of mind. Now, here's what's inside the kit. Inside the Ring, you're going to find everything you need to install. That includes the Ring video doorbell, includes the drill bits and the tools, even the levels, so that you can make sure that it goes in straight. If you've got power going to a doorbell, so you've got those 2 wires, you can use this back plate, and the back plate will actually convert that house current into something that charges the Ring video doorbell. If not, you just use this. There's a little micro USB port on the back that allows you to charge it up, and it will stay charged for up to a year. Now, what can it do with that charge? It will connect to your home Wi-Fi system, and it will allow you to initiate a 2-way conversation with anyone who rings the doorbell. Not only that, but it's got motion sensors. And so when someone comes within range of the Ring video doorbell, let's say someone comes up onto your porch, it will start recording video, and it can upload to the cloud. Now, how does this actually work? Quite well. Here is the actual Ring video doorbell that I have at my parents' home. So I've set this thing up in Las Vegas, and right now I've got it's looking at a video that was taken because it detected motion in the front yard. If someone comes up to the door, even if they don't ring the bell, if they start looking through the windows, I have footage of what they're doing. I tell you, folks, this is probably one of the coolest things that I've bought from my parents, and I come back to it year after year after year. Well, actually, it's only been in there for a year and a half. So month after month after month, and it is consistently one of the things that I look to whenever I'm worried about my parents. I love the Ring video doorbell, and I know you will too. Why not try the piece of technology that was called one of the best pieces of tech of 2015? Put your mind at ease and protect your home with the video doorbell that Time Magazine and USA Today named as one of their top 10 gadgets of 2015. Go to ring.com/knowhow. That's ring.com/knowhow for free expedited FedEx shipping. That's ring.com/knowhow. With Ring, you're always home. And we thank Ring for their support of Know How.
It's great for demoing because you only have to charge it once.
I know, right?
We just plug it into the wall. We don't have to do anything
They were
again.
good. Actually, I think that's the original demo model.
Yeah.
Yeah, go figure. You know what it's time for?
Questions?
Questions. So let's go ahead and kick it off with little network traffic fake out. What you got?
All right, this one is, I cannot pronounce the name. Lucas
Malacca.
Malacca.
Okay.
Is there any software that can create a fake computer-generated web traffic from a PC so that MITM cannot distinguish those two?
That's a man-in-the-middle attack. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to create a device that can pump a lot of traffic through a network so that if there is a man-in-the-middle attack running, they'll get a lot of fake traffic along with the real traffic.
Okay. Yeah. What's the answer to that one?
Let me start by saying it's not going to work, but feel free to, because it's too easy for me to search through the logs if I'm running an actual man-in-the-middle attack for you to flood me out with fake traffic. However, it is very possible. It's actually quite easy. I think did I put a link there for TCP replay? Yeah. So this is TCP replay. All this does is it takes a packet capture file. So if I'm running Wireshark, I can capture packets that I'm taking in. This will replay them. It's just like a VCR or DVR for packets. So what I can do is I can capture the packets from an attack and then play back those packets, and it's like the attack is happening all over again.
I see.
TCP replay will take a little bit of tweaking. It's not a simple program. You're not going to be able to run it out of the box. But I have used it in the past to simulate what real network conditions look like.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So if you're like penetration testing something, you want to just display that attack?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. The other thing I will say about this is I understand what you're trying to do. You're looking for a novel approach to stopping man-in-the-middle attacks. But again, you'd have to flood them with a lot of traffic. And by a lot of traffic, I mean the amount of traffic you would need to flood a man-in-the-middle attack would actually break your network.
So yeah, so basically a DOS.
So I guess you'd have to DDoS yourself in order for you to stop the man-in-the-middle attack that way. Yeah. So great, kudos for thinking that way. I love that fact.
Yeah.
You're trying to mess with the attacker, but wouldn't be completely effective.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a recommendation to just don't get
attacked?
Yeah, don't get attacked. Yeah, there you go. No problem.
It's easy.
No problem.
Just don't do that. All right.
Done.
What else we got?
All right, this one comes from Jason. Just looking at the official Raspberry Pi touchscreen, it almost seems the right size to use as a front panel for a car stereo. Anyone know if I can shave 2 millimeters off the top and bottom, and any recommendations on how to?
I love this question because this is exactly the kind of mentality that a maker DIYer should be in.
It seems like a perfect application for it.
Yeah, take something and then make it better, or make it fit my application. I just happen to have the official Raspberry Pi screen.
Which were kind of difficult to get a hold of, weren't they?
These are impossible. Well, I mean, it's better now, but when they first came out, I had to pay premium to get a hold of one of these things. Now, if you look at this, actually, let's go to the handheld cam. If you look at this, there's actually a lot of space. I'd say that's about 10 to 12 millimeter. And if I flip this over, you'll see that the screen doesn't start till there. So yeah, I do have a lot of space. I know what he's talking about. He's saying, can I shave off some of that in order to make it fit?
Yes.
The short answer is yes, because there is no circuitry. That is just bezel. There's absolutely nothing that you're going to affect as far as operation is concerned. But there's a problem.
Why?
And the problem is this kind of glass and this kind of material does not take well to shave.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It's incredibly easy to shatter this. So could you do it? Yes. Could you do it neatly to the point where you'd be happy with its installation in your car? I honestly don't think so. I mean, you might have much better tools than I have, because I'm thinking a Dremel. Definitely don't use like a lathe. A lathe will just shatter this glass. But it is so easy as you're taking off those 2 millimeters to go a little bit too deep, and suddenly the look looks horrible. Because all it takes is one mark, one mark.
And then, especially if you break maybe the structural integrity, then you get those cracks that go up and spiral out.
Exactly. Because it's glass. Because glass, that's how glass acts. Now there is one alternative that I was thinking about, and I was looking for a way to do this. This is a laminate, so you've got the bezel and then the glass material on the top. You might be able.
Gun and
like heat gun, remove the glass from the bezel and then make like custom glass, so glass that's actually been cut to fit that enclosure.
This is getting very elaborate.
It's getting very elaborate, but I think that's the best way to do it. I would not try to cut the bezel with the glass on it.
Are there no other screens that you can get that are kind of... Are there no aftermarket screens?
No, there are plenty of aftermarket screens, but the nice thing about the official screen is that it just works. It just works. Some of the aftermarket screens, they have...
You're gonna have to fiddle with some software and stuff.
You just put the Pi in it and you're good to go.
That's a tough call, Padre.
Yeah. So Jason, I'm not saying it's not possible. In fact, you're probably way more skilled with machining than I am. If you get this working, please post pictures of it in the Google Plus group, because I'd love to see how you got it done. And if you take our advice and separate the glass from the screen before you cut, video that, because I'd like to see if you were able to actually use a heat gun to pull away the layers before you cut.
All right. Well, good luck. I wouldn't try it.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's just because this was an expensive screen. I don't want to break it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. How much was it? Like $60 you paid for it?
That's like, I was like a 90. It should be like a $60 screen. I think we paid like $98.
And the actual computer is $30. Yeah.
The screen itself should cost me like $20. So, yeah. Okay, folks. Well, this has been a fun show. It was gaming theme, remember. So I did want to leave you with a parting shot. We haven't done one of these in a while. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
What if I told you that I have a way for you to game that's better than your mobile devices, that's better than this Predator, that's better than anything you've ever done?
I'd say you're lying to me again.
And I'd say there's a good chance that you were right. But just in case I'm not, hey, Alex, go ahead and push that magic button. VR technology has no doubt advanced in the last decade or so, but here at Virtuix, they want to take it one step further. I'd say even going holodeck style. I'm here with Lorenzo, who's going to explain what this contraption behind us can do for your virtual experience. Lorenzo, what is this?
Yes, so today at CES, we're showing off the Omni. The Omni is a motion platform that allows players to walk in 360-degree environments, whether you want to walk or run inside virtual worlds.
And I like this. So it's a harness that can swivel 360 degrees, so you can turn in any direction. And then you've got special shoes that will slip on the surface so that you can actually walk, you can run. Are there sensors in the floor to tell the Omni where you are?
There's actually no sensors or moving parts, but we do have the IMU tracker pods on top of each shoe. This allows the player to run analog speed within the game. Our concave base is a low-friction material, which conceals with our low-friction shoes as you would run on a traditional treadmill.
What I like about this approach is there are some very good VR products. I'm not going to knock anyone out there, but you don't actually move. I mean, if you move, you have a controller that moves you. To get your body involved like this, I think it really does add to not just gaming, but to any experience you might do in VR.
I agree, and that's what we're promoting here is what we call active VR. This is what we call to help increase immersion when experiencing virtual reality.
Okay, so right now, our player, he's got a gun, he's walking through a virtual space, and to move, he's actually got to walk, so you can't just push a control button. Let me ask you, I mean, what applications do you see for this beyond, say, this stock game?
We've had very much interest from other applications such as physical therapy, virtual tourism, architectural design. We really believe that if you really want to be immersive inside virtual reality, this is the only way to do it.
All right, Lorenzo, our audience has a lot of geeks, and actually he's shooting me right now, which is awesome. They're going to want to know pricing and availability.
Price is $699 for pre-order on our website, Virtuix.com.
And if they do want to find out more, of course, they should try to get you here at CES. But where are you located in case they do want to see one of these in person?
We are based out of Austin, Texas. We are at the monthly, I believe, or bi-monthly VR Austin meetup. So check out for that, and we'll have Omnis available for demo.
Lorenzo, thank you very much for speaking with us. And if you want to get virtual, you got to get Omni. That was a cool rig, but wasn't really designed for fat people.
What?
Yeah, I could barely fit in the rig.
Oh, what was the problem? You couldn't move around.
Fat.
Yeah. Well, other than
problem.
that. Well, like you couldn't move around in the.
It felt a little uncomfortable for me. Because I didn't have like full motion, and the gimbal didn't really encompass.
I feel like you're the target audience though, because if you're playing a game and you're walking around that much, you're gonna probably lose some
No,
weight.
I'm the opposite side. I'm the VR person who's like, yeah, I don't want to walk.
I
do
don't
want to push a button. Yeah,
I
look, I'm exercising now.
What did you think of the goggles that you wore?
They made me nauseous.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm one of these people who I don't like any VR experience right now. Even the new Oculus Rift, I get sick.
Yeah, I haven't tried any of the newer setups, but the first Oculus Rift that came out, it was like if you sat down and you moved in the game, I felt so ill.
Yeah, the one that we just got, no, the one that we got a while back, I think I used it for about 5 minutes, and when I got up, I had to lie down for like 30 minutes. I felt so bad, so wrong.
So maybe not quite there yet for a broad audience.
Or it might just, thanks. It just might be me. Maybe VR is not for me. Maybe I'm destined to live in the real world, Brian.
Yeah, that must be it.
Folks, we know that this has been a lot of material. We want to make sure you get all the links, all the information that we had for this episode. And we're going to put that in the show notes, which they can find where, Brian? twit.tv/KH. You can subscribe there and download past episodes. So visit that for links and everything else. But you can also, if you want to show off your projects or you have a question, be sure to go to our Google Plus group. Do it.
And the easiest way to do that is just go to Google Plus and search Know How.
Like 9,600 members, almost 9,700 members. We're getting close to 10,000.
I'm just happy it's over 9,000.
Oh, it's got to be over 9,000. And it's a great place to show your projects, to ask questions, to answer questions for people. I mean, if you're an experienced DIY maker, why not help the people who are coming up after you? It's, again, go to Google Plus and just look for the group Know How. Of course, that's not the only place you can find us on the socials.
No, that's right. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at what we're doing when we're not here on Know How, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at @cranky_hippo.
And you can find me at PadreSJ. And our director,
Alex.
Steve?
He's
Steve.
somewhere, he's hiding back there somewhere.
Wait, I can zoom in. Hold on, let me zoom in on
Enhance.
Enhance. There you go. Oh, look at that.
A slow zoom.
No, don't switch away, Alex. There you go.
Sorry, Padre, we don't have time for this.
Sure we do. Look, we're
We're at the 45-minute mark right now.
Okay. Well, you can find him at ANELF3 on Twitter. Also, don't forget that there's actually a newsletter now. Twit.tv, go to twit.tv/newsletter and subscribe. You can find some behind-the-scenes information. And you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Know How YouTube channel, youtube.com/knowhow. Because, again, we're putting content there that doesn't end up in the show. If you want to see what I do late at night in the studio when I get bored and just start making things, it's a great place to go. It's a great place to have a conversation.
I'm actually a little worried.
Whoa. Keep it clean there, Brian.
I'm just a little worried about what I'll find on the YouTube channel.
No. Just no. No. We keep this clean. But don't forget, again, youtube.com/knowhow. I think that's it.
I'm done.
Come back for Thursday, because Thursday we've got these things. The steampunk goggles are going to be making their debut. We've got everything programmed. The Arduino is working properly. The LEDs are going. So again, Thursday at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, you're going to find us here on the Twit TV network.
That's
Until
right.
then, I'm Father Robert Balliser.
And I'm Bryan Burnett.
Now that you know how,
go game. Go get some gaming on.